That was freaking awesome.
Enjoyed it.
So we have a funny story. I was thinking to myself, this band's cool. I like this band. What song am I going to teach? And I was like, oh, that's a great song. I totally forgot all about it. And then I learned that he actually played the guitar on it. So
kind of secret.
Rather than me, well, it's not secret anymore. So we just released some top secret information. Don't tell Richie. But anyways.
No, he knows. He knows. He's great.
So rather than me fumble through it, the man is just going to teach you. And I'm super excited to have him back. We got some stuff coming down the pipe that's going to be amazing. And hopefully we'll have you in studio more often.
I'll be back soon, I promise.
Sweet. All right, so let's get to it. We're going to show you the solo and the rhythm.
So the way this happened, I was 23 and I went to New York to do some demos for John Bon Jovi. He was 18, and one of those demos ended up being on his first record. And we all got credit. This band that was put together for those demos did get credit. At that moment, he put together his real band, but we actually got to be on the first single. And then I moved on to tour with Rick Springfield, and he moved on to being the biggest rock star in the entire world. So it was good for me. It really, I was proud of it every time I heard it on the radio, and I've heard it for a long time on the radio. The way the solo starts, it's with a double string bend. I'm just going to turn down this delay a little bit before I start. I've got my index finger on string 2, fret 5, and I've got my third finger on string 3, fret 7, and I pull up with the third finger to match the tone of where my index finger is sitting. And we do this like 5 times. And I kind of mute in between each string pull. And then the solo kicks in for real. And it's A minor pentatonic, so the first lick is pulling up from 7 to 9. And I do this fill right here. And then I come back down and play that fill. So pull up and bring it down. Kind of repeat the same thing again. And then this turn is pretty cool. It's a quick pull off. And because we're on a D chord right there, I kind of cheat and kind of go into the key of D for a second. So this phrase right here starts on fret 7, and I do a pull off. And when you do a pull off, you want the note underneath it to sound just as strong as the note you're pulling off from. And to pull off, you just pull down. I'm not picking it. This finger right here is picking it by pulling off. So then I walk down. That's it, actually. And what happens there is I'm sneaking in a hand position shift. And that's simply when I strike this note on the 4th string with my index finger, instead of maybe doing it here, right there, it's the same note, I actually drop my hand down, and that puts the hand in a new position so I have a new zone to do more creative stuff. So I'm just walking it down from fret 5 to fret 3 on the 4th string. And then I hit that D note twice, and it just so happens that the band is on D at that moment, so that's the reason for that. Okay, then the band returns to the tonic, and so do I. But because I'm down here, I've got a new zone to play in. Position. So this is a pentatonic riff 2 on string 5. It's my index finger, fret 3. And I hit the string twice, land on the tonic. And the cool thing about this riff is I'm going to play it 2 more times in 2 more octaves. And that was something I did a lot back then. I don't do it so much anymore, but it's a trick I used uh, back then, it's a lot of years ago. A couple. Anyway, so what this is we're on fret 3, string 5. We bend it up a little bit, and when we land on the tonic, we vibrato. Kind of that wide, not, you know, kind of wide 80s, but it's Clapton-y, you know, it's 70s, it's 80s. Then I walk it up to the next position, an octave up. Same thing here, but I'm on string 3, fret 5, over to string 4, fret 7. Same phrase. And I'm hitting it hard with my right hand and punching it. When I get up here, I'm punching a couple other strings along with it to give it that thud that I like. Walk it up another octave, and this is on fret 8, string 1 with the index finger, and then fret 10 with the third finger. So same fingers on all these. And up here, I really do that string thumb. Do it a little bit slower. The next riff is kind of funny because I used to have this kind of crutch. I used to have this thing that I did. When I didn't know what I was going to play next, I would simply plant my hand on a string and slide it up. And go, okay, here I go, I'm going to play something. And that's exactly what I did there. So it's just me sliding up on a string going, oh, what am I going to do? So what I did is I slid up on the B string. I landed with my index finger on the D string, fret 10. Sliding up, I hit an A note, and then I pull up from 2 to 3. That's interval 2 to 3 on the second string, fret 12 and 13. Drop back down, and I'm just kind of playing an A minor, kind of melodic A minor thing. Walk back down, and then I do a definite G kind of double stop thing. And that's very specifically meant to be played over the G chord that's happening underneath. And what that is, I've got my index finger barred at fret 10 across the top 2 strings, and I do downstrokes, and I just kind of hammer on. In another situation, that would sound like a country feel, but in this particular situation, it comes off as rock, which I'm glad about. I think I hit it that many times. Okay, then I come up. The band lands back at the start of the actual rhythm cycle, and they land on A minor. So I come up here and play this just totally rock double stop. I mean, that could be, I was probably listening to Lynyrd Skynyrd, and that's where I got that from. So I'm way, way up here. My hand is anchored up here. You know, it's 12, 15, I guess fret 17, but it's the basic, you know, A minor pentatonic scale way up here on the neck. And I do this double stop. My little finger's way up here, my third finger's way up here, and I pull the 2 strings together. And then I walk it down. And what always amazed me about this is see if you hear it. I'm pulling up, there's a harmonic that goes down, and it's always been that way. Pull up, I hear this thing going down. It's a harmonic. I hope you hear it, because otherwise I'm in the twilight zone. So I play that, and then I've got to justify myself by playing a fast, accelerating, low to high riff, because that's what the lead guitar is about. So I come back to A minor pentatonic, and I do this repeating thing. I'll do it kind of slow. Kind of didn't quite get that last one. But you see what this is? It's just a double stop kind of opened up. Then I walk it up to this position. So let's look for anchors. My third finger is at fret 7 on string 4. My third finger is on fret 10 on string 4. Staying within the minor scale. New anchor. My second finger's on string 3 at the 9th fret. Same kind of thing. Then I come up here. third finger, fret 10 on the second string. And here I walk up in a pentatonic way that I used to do all the time. I used to use that all the time, and it really works for walking up. It's like... So look at this. It's a way to advance up the neck on 2 strings. Here I am on fret 10 with my third finger. And play that, and then I walk it up 3 frets. Same 2 fingers on each thing, and that makes it kind of easy in a way. Walk up 3 frets. Walk up 2 frets. Walk up 2 more frets. Walk up 3 frets. And I'm just kind of observing the rule book of A minor pentatonic. That's dictating my choices for notes. But the actual riff is kind of a 3-note phrase. What I call a seesaw. It's back and forth. Then when I come up here and I land home at the high position, I pull the high string from G to A. I play 1 slower blues riff. And that's kind of me going back into melodic territory. Instead of rock, it's more melody. And then I'm getting near the end of the solo, so I say to myself, I have to play fast. So like I said, I got to play fast at the end. What this is a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. Here we go. So I do a hammer-on from 1 to 2. So it's not the pentatonic blues thing. It's more like a a minor ninth kind of thing, a more melodic approach. Then I land there, and then I do the 1, 2, 3 thing, and then back to pentatonic blues. But I'm picking as little notes as possible because most of my speed comes from the left hand. I got to admit it. That's it. Now, if you check out my right hand, it's only picking minimally. I actually like hammer-ons and pull-offs. If I pick every note, it sounds more like an exercise to me. Maybe that's just an excuse. I don't know, but I do like the left hand doing a lot of the work. Because when you play it really fast, it smooths out. It's like that's what I always liked about Alan Holdsworth and stuff. It's like this really smooth legato thing rather than. Anyway, so that's the first riff. I'm going to slow it down. And this is a good exercise if you're working on your hammer-ons and pull-offs because I'm picking 5 notes with 1 pick. And if you have some nice sustain on the guitar, it's not that hard to get them all to sound really even. But that's something to work on if you're not used to it. Okay. And there's one more kind of bridge before I finish the last riff, and that's this. So I'm just doing one more pull off. It's on the second string, and then I do a seesaw back to the second string. And then the end of the riff is... Let's see what the end of the riff is. So the end of the riff starts up here. And I end it on an E note because the band is going to the B section and the actual, it's just one of the E chords. And I kind of like to end solos on a low note, because we get kind of hooked on ending solos on a high note. So every once in a while, I like to end solos on a low note, and this is one of those instances. So here's the verse, and I picked up a Strat because I remember on the session using the wang bar, and you can kind of hear it on the B section in particular. You can also, I discovered that the best spot on the guitar for a squeal, and it's right here on the 9th fret on the 3rd string, and in the intro of the song I did one of those. And if you kick on the distortion pedal, you get a couple of those extra harmonics. But it's that one spot, I was always like really amazed at how that spot sounded. I mean, the really evil spot was the 9th fret 3rd string, that harmonic. So that's the one I used in the intro, you'll hear that. And then of course there's so many pick scrapes, you just can't even count them. Anyway, the verse, A minor, root and 5th, maybe a few 8th notes. Then it drops to the G, all the 8th notes. Drop to the E, F, and then there's a riff. And I really like that one. I do it with my little finger, just because there's kind of a stretch here. So if you put your little finger on fret 5 on the bottom string, and then jump over to the A string, the 5th string, jump back, hit the G note, and then maybe walk your hand up by using the 2nd finger, because that puts you in the position to do this. And you want to be in position to do that because I think the 3rd finger is the best finger to use for that thing. And all that thing is, it's across strings 3 and 4 on the 5th fret, and you're playing this double stop. Let me review that. You see how I changed my hand position? I start here with the little finger there, and end up with the 2nd finger there, so I'm in position to go with the 2nd finger. At speed, it sounds like that. So that's the verse. When we move into the B section, I just play these harmonics, really simple harmonics, up here at the 12th fret. And then just do a little massage with the wang bar. I come back down and play the A minor. And then when it goes to the D, the band goes to the D, I just hit these D harmonics. And then you hear one guitar going while the band is going from C to G. So you can do either one if you want. And now we're set up for the chorus. It's the same as the verse at the beginning. It goes from A minor to G. Then over to C with one note, and then you push the B note, and then you push the G note. So on the 5th string, 3rd fret, play the C note, do an upbeat push on the B note, and an upbeat push on the G. And when you play this B note, the band's going to E. So you could kind of do an E chord if you wanted to. Either way, if you're one guitar, you can make the choice. If it's 2 guitar players, one guy can play the E, one guy can play the B. And then this is the chorus riff. I like to use my little finger because really a long time ago I learned that it was kind of easier to make that stretch with the little finger, but you can use your 3rd finger too for any root and 5th stuff. I just like the little finger. That's the chorus riff. The thing that happens on the last chorus, they play that riff. I guess we play that riff. And then we add another riff to it. And it requires a bit of a hand position shift. So what I do is I play this riff, then I drop my little finger back here and play the B part of it. And then I can restart at that point. And what that is my little finger's on the 5th fret, the low string. Then I move over to the A string on fret 2 and walk up. And walk back down. Half step, whole step. Play the G note. And then back to the top of the chorus. And that's how it goes.
Yes! I freaking love it when you're here.
Imagine me with hair.
Exactly. Imagine us both with hair, well, you know, longer hair for me and like, you know, 20 pounds lighter.
Yeah. Little kids.
Yellow sneakers, you know, tight pants, bandanas, fire, you know, everything that makes a good metal video. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, and check the links below. I'm going to put Tim's stuff below as well. He's got an amazing YouTube channel. He's growing like crazy. I
Thank
wonder
you.
why.
You've helped.
Because he's the man.
You made it happen.
But anyways, yeah, thank you for the support. And there's other channels over there, papastachepop, tons of stuff over there, Facebook, you know, all that stuff. So check it out. You guys are amazing. Catch you next time.